What's going on, gamers? This is illumnix bringing you another episode of Supreme Commander. Today we're still showcasing the transport drop tactic, and this time it's going to be in a land-based map with some oceans surrounding the territory, so it's going to be an interesting gameplay. It's going to be a new way to use the transport drop strategy. And let's go ahead and go to the map because it's a very interesting map. It is called Tag Crephius Maximus, if I even said that right. Let's go ahead and start this match. And something to explain while we wait for the main infrastructure to get built is that this strategy has a lot to do with killing the enemy's infrastructure first and in a very critical order, like hitting the opponent where it hurts. So for example, you're using transport airships, so the first thing that you should try to destroy is going to be the air factories, because your enemy is going to try to intercept your transport ships with interceptors. To avoid that, destroy the air factories, okay? And that way you're gonna have an advantage not only in the air, because you're gonna outnumber his interceptor count by the time he rebuilds another air factory, but you're gonna have control of the land because your enemy is gonna try to counter your transport ships by land, building T1 anti-air land units, which are not very effective against tanks. So your tanks are gonna be able to overpower the T1 anti-air land units, and you're gonna be able to push forward with your tanks, and yeah, there's not gonna be anything he can do about it, will he? So kill his infrastructure, and you will do completely fine. It's a very fun strategy to play. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, it's very fun to play. Okay, so my rival has already built a T1 scout. It looks like he's sending them to the east, and another scout he's sending southwest of the map. He's sending it southwest of the map, it looks like. I am starting to build more power generators, because of course you know that air factories take a lot of power to run. So that's what I am working on right now. My rival is already walking off with his commander, probably gonna try to build up another infrastructure hub somewhere else. Something to keep in mind is that where your commander starts is going to be your main infrastructure hub, so try not to lose that. Try to get control of your infrastructure hub before you expand, in particular with your commander. Don't move your commander outside the base unless you're going to be ready to, unless you know it's going to be well protected, or you have your enemy definitely busy on his side and there's no way that your enemy is going to be able to reach your backfield and do heavy damage with a good amount of troops in your backfield. So always try to keep that area protected. So I am already working on my T1 air factory, and it's already being worked on. I have a T1 land scout right here, and I am building some tanks. You can see my scout right here. He's got legs. I really like these scouts. They do combat role too. They have a very light weapon, which is I barely use the weapon on these scouts. Honestly, I don't use it at all, actually, to be honest. The cool thing about these scouts is that they can cloak, so that's something neat. Of course, it takes power to cloak them, but not that much. So some useful information there. Okay, so you guys know how I'm gonna play this strategy. I'm gonna try to hit it where it hurts. I want to kill off his infrastructure and outnumber him, and just completely, without him suspecting, drop units where he least expects it, right? And you're not gonna be dropping just one at a time. Just like for example, if you're traveling to the location, you're gonna be trickling in units one at a time. Using this tactic, you're gonna be dropping 8 at a time or 6 at a time, whatever your transports can hold. We're talking about the Seraphim, and the Seraphim transport can hold 8 T1 land units, so therefore I'm gonna be dropping 8 units at a time. That's amazing, guys. Okay, it's a huge advantage to be able to reinforce your front lines with 8 units at a time. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, but again, make sure that you take down his air factory and start outnumbering his interceptor count. Therefore, you're gonna have an advantage again in the ground and in air. I sent this unit to the center of the map just so I can have an eye in the center of the map. Don't ever let your enemy or your rival get control of the center of the map. It's not a good thing. If he gets control of the center of the map, it will not be good for you, okay? You want to push him off the center if he gets there, okay? So my rival is already expanding in the ocean side of things. I have not even done that because his infrastructure is mainly in the land, and I am not only building a lot of land factories, as you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have 2 more in queue, so that's a total of 6 T1 land factories. The first thing you should do with your transport ship is set a ferry point. The ferry is just, it kind of just ferries your units to the end location. I decided to ferry them to the backfield to possibly destroy some mexes right here. I did not know he was building all of this right there, but I got fortunate enough to destroy some infrastructure in the beginning. I figured that I'd drop here because I was gonna be able to kind of do a sneak attack like around like that. Not all the time does it go as you planned, okay? Something neat to know about the ferrying points is that you can set your factory rally point here. It's gonna make it so that your transport ships automatically pick up any units that are being built in the factories, and as soon as if there's no more units to transport, then your transport ship is gonna start moving to its destination. But so it's either if it gets full or if there's no more units to pick up, does it start transporting them to its destination. I do a successful drop right here, and my tanks are starting to focus down his engineer, of course, because I don't want him rebuilding what I destroyed with his engineer, so I take care of his engineer first. My rival is already responding with some, what looks like a bomber. That's a mistake. He should be building interceptors to respond to this. And I do have a good amount of land units or T1 tanks right here, and some T1 artillery that's heading that direction. Okay, and I am sending some reinforcement their way. As you can see, you can always drag the end of the ferry point, and your transport ship will always drop at the end. Okay. Something neat to know about the Seraphim is that they have very powerful T1 artillery. Okay, they're called hobos. They're very good units. They're very powerful. The strongest T1 artillery you will ever have in Supreme Commander. I'm talking about T1 phase. Okay. So there's the advantage of having a transport ship, guys. You will always be able to reinforce your line with about what 8 units at a time. 8 units at a time, and you're gonna have a superior number advantage, because as you can see right here, my enemy's trickling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units at a time, while I'm reinforcing with 8 at a time. Boom. So for every drop I can basically take down, like, you know, a lot. Okay, I can fight 8, I can take on the same number basically, and he's trickling them 1 at a time while I'm dropping, boom, 8. Okay, that's the advantage. And here goes more reinforcement. My transport ship is picking up more reinforcement. The way you manage multiple transport ships is you just have it assist this ferry point. You can actually click on the transport and have it assist the ferry point. Okay, if it assists the ferry point, it's gonna do exactly what the first transport ship is doing. Okay, giving you like a ferry system. Okay, you can think about it like those ski things that take, you know, like people down and up and whatever. Okay. As you can see, I see the time to push. I reinforce my front line a few more times with transport ships, and I do the push for the infrastructure. And the main infrastructure, he neglected it. He did not defend it well. And I'm able to destroy all of these power generators, all of this infrastructure. This is especially very important. And if he loses this, it's gonna be critical to his infrastructure. It's not gonna go good for him. As you can see, I'm building my own interceptors. I want to be able to combat his own interceptor. My rival tried to do a sneak attack over here on the east side of things. He was unsuccessful. Of course, you will remember that he did have some units coming over here. I intercepted them. So as you can see, I am defending my side with the hobos. Very powerful artillery. Of course, their name is actually Sui, or whatever you pronounce, however you pronounce that. I'm not gonna try to say that. We just call them hobos, okay? He's building his own interceptors. He did take down one of my transport ships, and I lost all my tanks right here. As you can see, this is the wreckage of all the tanks that I lost, and this my transport ship is gone. I lost it because he intercepted it, okay? He has some tanks and some anti-air units trying to do a sneak attack right here. Just a few on the south end of things. Of course, I noticed that he has or I should say air factory right here, so I try to take it down. He does have a bomber bombing me, so I was not successful in that particular operation. Okay, so I noticed that he's pushing my infrastructure here, so I send some ground units this way. Okay, and of course I'm able to hold up my ground on the east side of things over here. My rival has a naval factory here that probably will not do him any good because I am getting very good control of the land. I'm already building a mass extractor right here, and I built some T1 point defense right here just so I can hold any rivals coming down this lane right here. Okay, as you can see, I have a good amount of troops on the ground now. I'm rebuilding my transport ships. If I lose transport ships, I rebuild them, and as soon as I rebuild the ones I lost, I start building more interceptors so I can get control of the air, because I want control of the air, and I want control of the air of the land. Okay, so get control of the land and the air. If you have control of the air, your opponent is gonna try to counter with T1, you know, anti-air land units, which are not gonna go good for him in the land battle. Therefore, it's taking your opponent down 2 notches, right? So just think about that. I am at this point I am using these drops to reinforce my front lines just so I can keep reinforcing with 8 at a time. It's a very effective way to reinforce your front line. As you can see, I have troops heading that way, and I drop them right where the front line is. There goes the drop right there, guys. There goes the drop right there. Okay, and my interceptors start working on their my interceptors start intercepting his interceptors. and that's how that goes. Of course, I noticed that he leaves this area defenseless, and I am dropping more units in the front line, and I am just going to town on his infrastructure hub right here. Just like I said, target his infrastructure hub. There goes the second drop right there. There goes the drop right there, guys. Look at all that artillery. Look at all that army. You're quickly able to build up armies in random positions using this strategy. This tactic is very efficient when you target the right things. You want to especially take down his air factory. I cannot stress that enough. His air factory needs to go. Okay, because if you have control of that, I've already explained, you're gonna get control of both air and land. Okay, and in this position, forget about the naval, because I mean your main hub is gonna be in the land anyway. He does have land units attacking my base. That's not gonna do him any good because this land is a little too high and he can't really hit me. Okay, at this point I focus down his air factory. I take down his air factory, and he wants a rematch, and I of course give him a rematch. And at that point he just decides to surrender because he doesn't have any more infrastructure. He lost his main infrastructure. He knows I outnumber him. He knows that he knows that I can drop units anywhere. He knows any infrastructure doesn't stand a chance anymore, and he decides to surrender. If you have any questions about this tactic, ask in the comments. Make sure you subscribe for more content. I hope this helps you win some matches. I know the previous showcase of this tactic did help somebody win a match, so I hope it helps you. If it helps you, mention it in the comments. I would really appreciate that. Give it a thumbs up if it helped you. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this. Look forward to more strategies and more episodes. I have a ton. Okay, have a good rest of your night, guys. Bye bye.